Alright, so this will be the second of two games, I believe, perhaps of three, and it is the Dreadz playing versus the Freelancer team. And here with me, I have PreatorAlex and LuckyDevil, and we will be casting this game as soon as it starts.
Happy to be here, Abra.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome, everyone.
Alrighty. Just kidding, sorry, bye.
Channel switched. Buddy was moved to your channel.
Alright, I think this should help a little bit.
Kick the audience, kick the peanut gallery.
Yeah, Ozzy, yeah.
Are we live streaming on your YouTube, Abra?
No, it's a recorded stream, and it's gonna be posted on YouTube as soon as it's done.
Perfect. So RLK is spamming the chat with poops to signify his happiness over Crackshot not being a commentator. That was some pre-game drama.
To note here that, oh wow, yeah. To note that RLK, I mean sharks, they may not like crack that much, but these are the lower part of sharks. They're the slow sharks. And, they're really like the, third tier kind of players.
So Abra, do we know who won? This is the second game. Do we know who won the first?
I do believe that it was the Dreadz that took the first game, and to my understanding, I think the Freelancer team had a little bit of a hard time gathering a second, enough players to run a second game. I think most of them are EU and Australia, and it's getting a little bit late. It's 11 Eastern time here, as you can see, and I don't know. I guess we're looking at also at playing them next. Hopefully they will last.
Hopefully that's true. And it looks like Helveticano and the Dreadz are calling ready, so hopefully the Freelancers will be ready and we'll get this game started.
Yeah. Lucky, any predictions?
I'd say probably Dreads, just because the other teams sounds like they're disorganized and playing on a lack of sleep, so I think Dreads will probably take this one.
I see.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if Porn goes support or if Porn goes Void Ray. We saw Shaoran get a huge farm advantage in a previous game in this tournament. We'll see if his greed allows him to snipe someone, that might be good. But if his greed denies the rest of his team, then they're definitely going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's always a balance in between the greed and really the kill power. And I think you mentioned Orgonite is one of the EU players, and SB5, I'm not sure, is that a EU clan? Lucky, would you know?
Say that again?
SB5, you mentioned that Orgonite was an EU player. Do you know about SB5? Is it an EU clan or?
No, I've never seen SB5 before, so it's not a EU clan that I know of. At least not a Star Battle clan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it looks like we're going.
And here we are. The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1. Load screen. Azulai is also an old player. I think that's his newer name. I think that he took on about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and Boomer is definitely an old school EU player. Been around a long time.
I believe we saw Azulai playing a Void Ray without Blink a few games ago, so we'll see if he does that again.
Alright, Lucky, do you want to tell us the top right corner, and Alex, you want to talk about the bottom left?
Sure.
After you, Lucky.
Yeah, starting at the top, they've got a Dread on the side, went 5 cats. Your side is a Levy, who opened Evolved. In the middle, we have a Raven with EMP, and 2 Frigs. It looks like both the Frigs went 5 missiles. And a BC with range rockets.
Okay, and if we want to cut down to the bottom, ignoring RLK's homophobic insults, We'll look at Helveticus, who opened 2-2 as a Void Ray with 1.75 speed, no blink, so that'll be interesting. We have a 3-1 Colossus. I'm not sure what he spent his extra money on. Poor Nexus has gone support as a Raven with EMP. Amateur has gone classic 2-range, 2-speed Frigate. And Obi-Wan on the bottom has done a 4-3 a Dreadnought, which is interesting. You don't see very many of that. And he seems to be losing to Boomer already.
Indeed, the 4-3 is usually a Colossus build, but I think it is an older build that used to work more. Now you don't see it as often.
Yeah, and it looks like the blinkless Helveticus has already been pushed back to tower.
One thing to note is that the mid, they're running an idea here where they have the 2 tanks on the sides and the mid is all kite ships, so they do have double frig BC in the middle, and they are clearly keeping a kite on these tanks in the middle. The levy is cutting in, and it's trying to get a little bit of tank and give their ships a little bit of support here, because the 2 frigates are not really good enough to have a backbone.
Oh yeah, we can see the Colo is taking hull damage now from all the missile ships. 5 missiles on Shauran and 5 missiles on Azulai, putting a lot of targeted damage on Rockeling.
Yes,
For sure.
indeed. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, the reason why the 5 missiles on the frigate is because the frigate has 1 extra range compared to the BC, so that way all the middle ships all have the same range and they're all beating on the same ship.
Looks like Helv tried to warp out on the top here, but got interrupted by Kit Raya's Ints? Or,
No, I think he
Griffins?
just cancelled
He
it. I think
cancelled it a
just-
Oh
second
yeah,
time.
that was the second time.
Yeah.
The first time was interrupted, the second time he just cancelled it.
Oh, Shauran taking a lot of damage.
Organite is being caught by the Desi, but the Desi also can't stay. They are all burning, and they're just playing chicken at this point. Who's going to be able to will to stay out longer?
Well, with Red opening kite missile ships, they outrange almost everybody.
So they did leave the kite ships. They put the Colo behind. They stopped it from taking damage, and they let the kite ships do the work. Thus, having the victory for the bottom red team on the first push.
Oh, it looks like the red team is worried about a warp trick and is backing up.
Yeah, still pretty even on farm, despite Red winning the push.
Interesting, Helveticus has warped immediately at base, got flux veins, and is now going to set a warp trick on the side.
Oh, but Organite is scanning, so he can detect it.
Aha.
Some interesting blue upgrades. Kit Ray has gone 8 Gats.
Wow.
Lots of push there. Maybe going for early siege to try to kill a tower.
Fantastic.
He does have Hall as well.
I guess with a Void Ray in his lane, he was able to get a little bit more farm than usual.
And he's pushing Helveticus back behind the rocks.
Helveticus is still in a good warp trick position.
And they scanned again, so they know he's there.
And he's going around the Helveticus rock. Is everybody familiar with the Helveticus rock? There it is.
Oh, and there's the warp-in.
There's one warp in. Night Star with nothing other than warp and 4 missiles.
So one warped in, but it looks like the rest of the team's going to push normal.
Yeah, 1.8 speed, no nuke.
They do all have warp, though. They just chose not to warp this time.
And
The
they
red team, that is.
realigned. RLK has stalled. I think he was busy typing, as per usual.
Putting a lot of damage on that Raven there.
Well,
No
Helveticus still
shields.
has 0 beam.
Ooh, the EMP on shore and an RLK has really disabled and crippled them. Any predictions now that we see the first almost 8 minutes of the game? based on the comps.
Looks pretty even to me. I
Yeah,
think
but
it probably favors red if they can get to the late game.
I think red has some problems though, because they don't have a very even farm distribution. So like their frig is still one missile.
Yeah, with the VR just deciding to back farm, they're putting a lot of. Well, he's going to be basically carrying the team. Otherwise,
They can now see the VR, and they can also see Obi-Wan, who is hiding around the bottom rock and is now cutting in. And they're just not ready to warp yet, I don't think.
Obi-Wan going 7 armor without reinforced hull. That seems like a mistake. And Helveticus is slowly working his way back with almost $800 to spend.
yep, the highest farm by a good margin right now.
Organite has been scan sweeping as if it was his religion.
Well, that's not a bad thing to do versus the Salvos guys, because they love to warp trick.
Yeah, especially because he doesn't have anything else to spend his energy on right now.
Indeed,
Yeah,
and he just lost it as you were saying this.
Azulai going 5 laser. That seems like a mistake at 10 minutes.
And VR warped back. Might be setting something up here.
Sharon coming out with 4 laser as well.
Indeed, the farm distribution seems a little bit erratic for the red team.
Yeah, Azulai is going back with only $435 to spend, and he's at 10 minutes he's a 00010 frig.
And
The VR is quite.
will Helveticus go around the Helveticus rock? No, he's cutting before it, and he does have charge.
He don't have scan ready, so I don't think they've seen him.
Have 0.31 beam, and he's
Scan looks like it'll be up in a few seconds here.
It'll be too late.
There it is.
There it
he
is.
scans immediately.
It will be too late if they decide to warp. This will be almost
And
certainly.
Oh, they even type in the. They're even making fun of him in the chat.
and Sharon's asking them if they're warping.
And I guess the answer is no.
Answer's no.
And that's what it looks like, yeah. Despite the fact they all have warp, they.
It
just-
looks like Helveticus was just baiting them back to cost them some farm.
Very sneaky, sneaky.
And RLK.
They do also have radar, so the Raven, I don't know how much range he has. Doesn't have much range, but he can see some things on his radar.
And it does seem like there's a good matchup of the double Ravens, or sorry, the Raven versus Raven. They just EMP'd each other, and they're also, the good. Oh, and there goes that homophobic comment again from RLK. I wonder how he's going to feel when he gets it up the butt.
Okay, I'm taking a look at RLK's vision, and he definitely has radar, but I can't tell what his range is.
Oh, there's a convergence happening in the middle here. There's a lot of action. The frigates, the BC, and the Colo are chasing the
And the rest of
Destro-
his team's cutting up to save him here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Level 8 missed rockets from Sharon. Lots of missile damage.
No, it seems like Shoran is not as farmed as he usually is.
Oh. VR
behind.
and ships on.
Oh, the Raven
Oh,
is
RLK's in trouble. RLK's.
Yep.
Yep,
al-
he's gone.
it is almost like I'm a wizard. He did get something big, really long, up the butt.
Oh,
Let's
but
see if they can get a
it looks
counter
like
kill here.
A counter
they
kill.
should be able to get the Colo. This should be a counter Colo kill.
They still do have scan and lockdown, so
The frigs are target firing, and
they
they get the
do.
kill.
They did get that. Oh, and what is this warp?
that
What
was
just
an
was-
interesting warp.
That's one of a kind. You don't see this in very many
Obi-Wan
was
only
putting
has
a
3
lot of
gats.
power on the.
Azulai
I'm not-
will die here.
Oh,
yeah.
Azulai's gone.
Obi-Wan.
Boomer should be fine. He's triggered his regen.
I think he's suiciding, perhaps.
And it looks like
It is indeed a... Oh.
Well, that's
Oh.
a good counter push.
What a good turn. Turn of events. Unfortunately, I don't think they can do very much with this. They only
Well,
have
this is-
3 ships versus 5.
Yeah, but this
And
is
he has
8
so much
gats with
armor.
9 armor. He's going to be able to push
he is
all the way
doing
to
a good
base.
amount of damage, but the pro field's going to be.
What is
Helveticus.
Helveticus doing? He needs to get his
Helveticus,
damage in.
he was just waiting for
There we go.
more energy. Aha. Unfortunately, now this is definitely an uphill battle for the blue team as they do no longer have a Raven, and RLK again is showing his bitterness, maybe saltiness. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
Or-
that will almost certainly cost the blue team the game against the Voider with no Raven.
Well, and RLK rage quits. Orgonite is really going to be key if the blue team is going to stay in this. He needs to get locked down now.
There it is. As soon as he got home, he got lockdown and energy. He called it, Praetor.
And it looks like Helveticus is taking this opportunity to get real fat. He's almost $800 to spend when he goes back next. Oh,
Yeah.
and they warp on him, and they're warping on him.
What's interesting is that Poor Nexus has just EMP'd the levy. There's not much that can go back here, and has also put that stinky cloud on him. This is not looking good.
That Destro is quite tanky.
Level 5 missiles on
Ooh.
both red missile ships.
Obi-Wan might be in trouble if he keeps going.
Gowron has a torp now, so he might try something.
He
Yeah.
just got locked down. No torp at this moment, but now the torp might turn around and drop
I
the
think we
torp.
might see an attempt to save with torp.
He's
Level 6 beam from Helveticus. Something
he
needs
is
to happen.
within torp range now. I mean, he
Torp.
could die if it hit.
Let's see it.
Oh,
There it is.
torp.
Oh, he misses.
Oh, good spin,
Oh.
but
Just a miss.
just enough.
Oh,
It's a good try though.
someone
That would have hurt Obi-Wan. It wouldn't have killed him, but it would have hurt him.
someone in game should place a question mark though. And Helveticus is free farming a ton of farm here.
Oh yeah.
He's now the most farmed ship on the map. And
He
that's
still doesn't have cloak though. I imagine that'll be his next upgrade.
I imagine so. A bit of a mismatch here. It should really be the Destro taking on that siege creep, not the BC, and the BC should really be laning against the Voider to kind of slow it down a little bit. But at this point, the levy just poses no threat to that Voider.
It looks like Boomer also has bioplasma discharge. Do you think that's a mistake?
Boomer has bioplasma discharge.
I would have gone with the acid spray myself.
I think the acid might have been better versus their particular comp because the acid can see invisible or it can hit invisible units, so it wouldn't be a bad way to harass the VR when he's cloaked.
Indeed.
But then again, he doesn't actually have cloak, so
Perhaps he was
maybe
looking.
it's not necessary.
He was looking for
He's-
that immediate burst damage, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely. Oh, he should hit hell. Oh, he hits the rocks.
Oh,
And
Helveticus
Helveticus
is
is gonna warp
warping
out.
back. He might actually snipe the BC here. Will he do it?
No, he warped back.
Oh, he
it looks
warped
like.
all the way home. I thought he was warping to his teammates.
Boomer is not very fat as a levy.
And the longer this game goes, the less chance the blue team has. So they really need to take a kill right here.
I don't think they're gonna get one.
Nope, the Void Ray
Oh,
is
here
charged.
comes Helveticus.
He still does not have cloak. He did blink in.
He
has
has
12 beam.
with double
with
charge. I
charge,
think he'll
yeah.
get the BC here.
He
though.
will get the
He does a
BC,
lot of damage.
but he
very
might die.
quick.
He might die
Oh!
for it.
might be-
He probably will
Oh,
die.
Wow.
they need to trade, otherwise this game's over.
Oh,
And they
wow.
pull
And
off
they
the
did trade.
That
And
was
they
a good
traded.
Trade.
That
Now, if they can get out of here, they definitely have a chance.
They have a chance if they can escape, but Obi-Wan's gonna push. He has 6 gats. He has 7 armor.
Oh,
and
wow.
Sharon,
Looks like he's
Sharon
going to get
gets around
away.
the rocks.
an eye for an
Oh.
eye, says
I think they should
Azulai.
take their
And
trade
there's that
and disengage
bioplasma
at this
doing
point.
damage.
That definitely made things interesting.
This evens out the game. In fact, it actually leaves the levy as a late game ship compared to all the other ships, and the farm is almost even. So this
The farm's almost even. However, Dreadz still does have an extra ship. It's
And
4
that's why
versus 3.
Cloak was so important. He blinks forward without cloak, and he gets himself killed.
Yeah, seemed a little bit greedy, knowing that the VR's only gonna get stronger. There's no need to rush anything.
though killing the BC would have definitely put the nail in the coffin there.
Oh, for
if
sure.
That was
yeah,
the only
that
counter.
is true.
And to Porn's credit, he did everything he could to save Helveticus. He had the DMAT on him. He had the shield transfer. It just wasn't enough.
Let's see if they go to a game 3.
This is exciting.
It is. And for all those freelancers who have not stayed in this game, they would be losing 12 points should the blue team still win.
Oh, Obi-Wan's getting behind them.
Uh-oh, this is dangerous. This is
dangerous.
really
Sharon
dangerous.
sees it.
They should get out of here. They're fighting at the tower. They're eating siege creep damage. They're being locked down. This is really bad engagement.
Level 5 missiles on the BC, level 7 on the
Yeah.
frigate.
Unnecessary.
lot of damage.
Oh,
The levy's gonna have to go in and tank some if there's any
Oh,
chance
and
of him getting away.
And no energy on the beast on the Destro. He's in trouble if he can't use his
That's
SCVs.
unfortunate.
I-
Perhaps a little careless there.
does he have
There's the-
emergency shields?
He probably does, and it's about to pop.
Oh,
But
he
he
does.
has no energy
No.
for the SCVs.
That was a very, very poor engagement on the blue team part. They ate way too much damage that they did not need to.
And they let Obi-Wan sneak behind them. That was critical.
Yeah, time was on their side to a certain extent if they could keep pushing, because that levy, if it gets really strong, can just frenzy right on something, make quick work of them. Now being another ship down is a lot harder.
This probably won't happen as the Raven will just win this energy war for them, and they are now behind by 30% of the farm. It is not looking good.
Yeah, I could see Obi-Wan going for
Siege.
and
Yeah.
finishing this.
Yeah, that's probably where they're headed.
And that was yet another option that they would have had should Kitrania or Kitaria have been alive, that they could have at least sieged up at their base, but now they can no longer do that, so the red siege will go unchallenged.
Where's Sharon warping to? The other tower.
He has warped there just to find a more bulky frigate with
Yeah.
DMAT.
A frigate with 10 shields.
And Shawara never made it to 10 shields. Interesting.
Only has 8 shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference between 8 and 10, or even 9 and 10, is quite a lot, because you're constantly doing it one time, and you have to wait for a lull between hits otherwise.
For an LOL between hits.
Instant shield regeneration versus
Yeah.
slight delay.
A lull. Yeah, lull.
A lull, not a laugh.
Well, I think Porn was probably thinking LOL.
I think Boomer's calling it. Yeah, Boomer is suiciding, and he's admitted defeat.
Stinky Cloud on Boomer. And Obi-Wan finishes it with a mine, I believe, for Gats.
And is Sharon actually going to make them kill him for this game to be... Officially, based on tournament rules, the game's over, red team is won.
As the captain has called the GG.
I don't think they'll want to give up the points anyway, so they'll probably
Sharon
play
is
it out.
just raging at base. He's gonna force them to play it out.
I do hope that
Oh.
they do still have a team by the time they need to play us, and I think we're up next, guys.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah, they're
Hope
playing
they're
us
not
next.
calling it a night yet.
Exciting match. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Lucky and Alex for joining us in this cast today.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Abra, for setting up the stream.
And Shoran leaves the game.